Hi, so the next problem that we have is something called maximum sum of sublist. So this is given some array like this which has negative and positive numbers. The idea is to find the maximum sum that could exist. Um, right, something like this. Let's say we have an input array like this. So we know that there are basically different combinations of subarrays within this. For example, this is a subarray, or this could be a subarray. The problem is to find the subarray, not to find the subarray, but find the maximum sum for the subarray. So if you look at it here, you can see that within this 1, 2, 3, you get a sum of 6, but that's not the maximum sub. It's actually 6, 7, 8, right, which gives us 13 plus 8, 21, which is the maximum subarray. And the thing is, when negative numbers come in, obviously the value of the subarray, the contiguous subarray, breaks down. So the key requirement is that it has to be a continuous subarray or contiguous subarray. And yeah, that's pretty much the problem statement. Here a brute force solution would basically involve uh, doing a scan from each index point, right? For example, let's say we start with the index point of 0, then we kind of look at all the possibilities from that point, like having another index point and just increasing the length of it, right? That is obviously a very costly operation. It's going to be O of n square, but that is the brute force solution that could be done, right? You have two index pointer and one pointer you hold to keep it steady, and then you keep on increasing the length of the array by moving the other pointer to the right. This will guarantee as a result eventually when the first index pointer reaches here and when the second index pointer reaches this point, we would have got the final the max up. But it's just that it's a little bit more expensive at O of n square. So the solution that we are looking at is something using the ideas of dynamic programming, which is let's say if you have already calculated a result till some point, use that, and rather than recomputing results every time. So here in this particular case, let me just erase all this. What we should be trying to look at is, let's say when we are at index 1, we should have already computed what is the maximum possible value until this particular index, right? So if we have it, then we don't have to recompute things again from scratch. We can just either append to it or just discard it if it is, let's say, a negative value or something like that. So I'll explain the way in which the solution works right now. So we will have what is called a current max, which we will start with. Let's say if it is an array, we will start it with the first element, right? And then we'll have global max, which we would also assign it with the first element. So what we are checking initially is if the current max is actually lesser than 0. If it is lesser than 0, as in this case, then there is probably no point in considering it, right? So we can have a reinitialization of current max. If it is lesser than 0, then I would probably reinitialize it to whatever is my index plus 1, or let's say if I am iterating from 0, I will probably use this. Let's say for completeness I am iterating from 1, then it's going to be 1 to n, then it's going to be a of I, right? Now this is if current max is less than 0. So the else clause of this will be, if it is greater than 0, then what we should do? We should just increase that element also, right? We should just do current max plus equal to a of I, right? We should just increment that element. And finally we have the global max, so we can always have a check finally to say, check whether if the global max is lesser than current max, then we just do global max equal to current max, right? And then return this. So that's pretty much the solution for it. The key thing is we check actually whether the current max is lesser than 0. If so, then we are actually not using, there's a resetting of current max that is happening. That's the key thing. We reset it to the current element that the index is pointing to. If it is not lesser than 0, then we keep on adding it, right? Positive values, we keep on adding it, and then we keep on adding it to the point where we get the final result. So let's actually look at the solution. So the basic idea is, once the sum of current max becomes negative, there's no point in actually you have to basically do a reset of current max. Otherwise, just keep on adding elements, right? So that's the idea. So let's write a code for it. Def some sub list. Okay, it gets a list. Okay, so what we do is, first we set current max equal to list of 0, and we put global max equal to list of 0, right? Now we will start iterating from 1, actually index 1, because list of 0 we have already gotten. So let's iterate from 1 to len of list. Okay, so what we are doing here is, we are just checking if current max is lesser than 0, whether it has become negative. If it has become negative, then what should we do? We should just reinitialize it with a new element that is provided by the IDX, right? And the else clause of this is, we increment current max equal to list of dx, right? And then once this iteration is happening, we should also check whether the global max needs to be updated. So we will do, if global max is currently less than current max, then what we do is, we will set global max equal to current max. So quickly just going over, we set current max equal to list of 0 and global max equal to list of 0 to start off. Then we are iterating from the first index point, index position, since we already have index position 0 taken care. What we are doing is, we are checking whether the current max sum that we are having is lesser than 0, whether it has crossed actually negative. If so, there's no point in continuing with it. We should probably restart current max to start with whatever is the current element pointed by the index, which is what we do here. If it has not reached negative yet, then what we do is, we keep on incrementing values to it from the list, and then we have a check of checking whether the global max is lesser than the current max. If so, then we basically update it to the current max. And obviously I had to return global max here, so that's the final thing. Yeah, that's the problem.